And now, the general weather around Alaska.
All right, there's still a blizzard warning out for tonight until 3 p.m. tomorrow for St. Lawrence Island for new snow and those strong north winds gusting to 55 miles an hour. So that's going to create some areas of drifting snow there that'll make travel quite difficult, reduce visibilities down to near whiteout conditions at times. Although by tomorrow, conditions should slowly improve, and then the warning due to end again at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And up toward Aleutian Pass there and along the Dalton Highway, winter weather advisory out for tonight and tomorrow for winds gusting to 45 miles an hour, and that'll cause some drifting snow. Of the snow that's already there, that could reduce visibilities to a half a mile. And then winter weather advisory here for the eastern Arctic coast for tomorrow for the same sort of condition here as Aleutian Pass and the Dalton Highway there, looking for west winds at 45 miles an hour, and again reducing visibilities down to half a mile or less at times in blowing snow. Then the winter weather advisory there for Eielson Air Force Base, or the Eielson Air Force Base area, or the greater Eielson Air Force Base area there southeast of Fairbanks, that's for snow and freezing drizzle that I believe due to end at 9 p.m. this evening. And going to satellite imagery, a lot of clouds here with now westerly flow in the north or into the interior here. Areas of snow, quite widespread areas of light snow here, actually from Arctic Village all the way down to Fairbanks, extending westward into Norton Sound, with the heaviest conditions out over St. Lawrence Island. Another area, cloud spreading snow and some gusty winds into the western and central Arctic coast areas there. And let's see, Atchison had 24 degrees below zero with a 20-knot wind. That was a wind chill of about 55 degrees below zero there with snow. Also Wainwright, snow in the areas of the central Arctic coast. And down here to the southeast, had a system dropping southeastward here that brought a few light showers to the southern panhandle earlier today, but those are about over down there now as that system drops off to the southeast. And clouds here with rain and gusty winds for the Aleutians. And then the band of clouds up through here with, on the north side of that, the cold Arctic air pouring out of the Russian Far East and down out of the Chukchi Sea. And below zero with gusty strong north winds there around Gamble, extending up toward the Bering Strait, but losing the snow and the blowing snow as you get up toward Teller and Wales. And those areas, maybe a few skiffs of snow along the southern Seward Peninsula there. As you can see, quite an area of light snow here along this trough from the northeast interior again, actually from, as I mentioned, from Arctic Village, southward into Fairbanks, right a little farther south, and extending westward here right onto the northern Bering Sea, linking up with this system here, big area of rain here over the Aleutians, and some gusty gale force winds here ahead of this front, spreading a lot of moisture, but it's staying out to the west over the western Bering Sea. As southern Alaska stays dry with light winds, some variable clouds. Same thing for the southeast coast. Kind of a cloudy day down to the south there with those showers earlier, but this system tracking off to the southeast. And then some snow moving onto the central and western Arctic coast. And also some light snow in the observation there at Barter Island Airport in the east side. For tonight, this area of snow mostly sets up now over the eastern north slope to the eastern Arctic coast. Still looking at light snow here, especially over the central and eastern interior through the Tanana Valley, becoming lighter and more intermittent here along the lower Yukon River. And then still catching the Yukon Delta coast. Still snow and blowing snow there for St. Lawrence Island. Big area of rain and gusty winds here out over the Aleutians in the southern Bering Sea, now up to the Pribilof Islands and spreading eastward here into the western Alaska Peninsula. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, that area continues to migrate east and northeastward here into the western Alaska Peninsula with gale force winds from the peninsula out to the eastern central Aleutians and to the north here. Otherwise, snow continues through the day, but conditions start to improve. Snowfall will become lighter. Winds will start to diminish, but won't end completely there for St. Lawrence Island. Maybe some clearing for the Seward Peninsula, Norton Sound, all of the southern interior here looking good again tomorrow. Still some light snow going on with the remnants of that weak trough here. Most of the bulk of the moisture now into the Yukon. And winter weather advisory, winds 45 miles an hour with blowing snow for the eastern Arctic coastal areas. But under the high there, light winds that'll extend back up to the central and western Arctic coast. A lot of clear skies extending down through much of the interior again, North Gulf Coast as well, and into the Panhandle. Some clouds, though, along the central coast. Actually, variable clouds possible anywhere over the southeast coast tomorrow. Then it looks like a little bit of a change here. A weak trough finds its way into the just off the coast here, and that'll bring some shower activity, mostly Prince of Wales Island, but extending northward along the central and north coast there, staying dry to the north and east of that. And also look for an increase in the clouds for the southern Seward Peninsula, North Gulf Coast as well, Cordova, and increasing chances of light showers. This very light precipitation here, and it'll mostly stay offshore. But look for periods of rain now for Kodiak Island, the Alaska Peninsula. This front pushes eastward and northward and weakens, but still some gusty winds, maybe up to 35 knots in some areas of the Alaska Peninsula. Wind and mild temperatures again with mixed precipitation here for the southwest coast. Stays a lot of clearing here again over the interior, and winds not too bad. Should be dry all the way up to the Arctic coast. A lot of shower activity over the Aleutian chain there on the south side of this frontal boundary, actually covering and actually shifting up into the southern Bering Sea. Lows tonight, 10 to 15 below in the Copper River Basin, anywhere from 5 below to 10 above here for south central Alaska. In the lower to mid-teens for Bristol Bay and the Kuskokwim Valley, upper 20s, Kodiak Island. And for the southeast coast, 10 to 15 in the north. Otherwise, some areas in the mid-20s, Prince of Wales Island on up to Port Alexander. Highs tomorrow, lower to mid-30s for the southern Panhandle, upper 30s for the central coast, and then staying in the 20s for the areas to the east and north. Mid-30s for Yakutat, and about 6 degrees there for Gulkana. In the 20s, south central Alaska, mid-30s for Homer, upper 30s for Kodiak, Bristol Bay in the upper 20s, and then the highs or the lows for Saturday morning, 15 to 20 below in the Copper River Basin, and 5 to 10 south central Alaska, of course milder down toward the North Gulf Coast, and lower 30s for Kodiak Island, with 20s for Bristol Bay, and 10 to 20 here for the northern Panhandle, and becoming milder as you head down to the south. And then the highs for Saturday afternoon, upper teens, lower 20s in the north here, and lower to mid 30s to the south, a shade above zero in the Copper River Basin, lower to mid 20s south central Alaska, 41 for Kodiak, and up into the mid 30s for areas of Bristol Bay, and 12 to 25 there for the eastern Kuskokwim Valley, with up to the north, much colder temperatures here, anywhere from 20 to 30 below from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, and about the same down to even south of the mountains there, with the 0-degree isotherm right through here, staying north of Fairbanks, a little about 12 there forecast, but about 4 below with the wind and snow for St. Lawrence Island. And the highs tomorrow below zero here in the north. Single numbers there in a narrow band just to the south of that, mid-teens for the Tanana Valley, Fairbanks area, and that extends all the way out till you get to 23 there around Amonic. And then the lows the following morning, 20 to 30 below, or actually 25 to 30 below there for the North Slope and the Arctic coast. Mid-30s below zero, Arctic Valley down to Chalk-Yitzhak, Fort Yukon, 23 below, forecast for Bettles, and then about 10 to 15 below here to the west, and above zero there for the above zero for the south coast of the Seward Peninsula. And then the highs recovering somewhat, maybe up to zero for Anaktuvuk Pass, otherwise North Slope Arctic coast below zero. Same below zero here in the northeast, anywhere from 0 to 10 there through the central interior, north of the Alaska Range. And out to the west, lows tonight in the 30s, pretty mild. Some areas closer to 40 like Adak. Then the highs tomorrow, upper 30s to lower 40s, warmest for Unalaska. And lows in the lower 40s for Dutch Harbor area, mid-30s for the Pribilofs, and 20s for the southwest coast. And that'll be followed by highs, lower 40s here for the Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians, Adak and Atka, and just a shade cooler for St. Paul and Shemya.